Dun 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 dun. The t-shirts are here. Yeah! It's 8:30. Welcome to Cocktails in the War Room. I'm Mistress Carrie. Every night at 8:30 for the last 71 nights in a row, we have met here in the War Room to help each other get through the day and talk about what's going on and be a support group and a place to laugh and a place to cry. And the t-shirts are here. Woo! I went and picked them up today. Dude, I left the house. I got on the highway. I left the state. Shh. I picked up the t-shirts. This is phase one. You can still buy t-shirts until midnight on May 31st. And then when it becomes June, the t-shirts are no more. But until then, go to the pinned post on this Facebook page, or you can even click the profile picture, and all of the links are up there. And you can order your shirt, which will be ordered in phase two. I had a long conversation with Brian today. He was super excited to get this phase done. So every shirt that's been ordered since Monday is going into the second phase to give me a chance to get all of the shirts shipped from phase one. And I had to test the PayPal links. And so I bought the first shirt. So here it is. Yeah. Now I have a confession to make. All of the shirts are here, minus two. The reason why I'm too short is because I got a message after Brian's announcement that the shirts were done here on Cocktails in the War Room. And I got a message from Fernandez who said, I mean, you got to drive by anyway. How about if I leave a bottle of sangria in the bushes for you to pick up on the way home? So not only did I get to pick up the amazing shirts, Christine's watching. Christine, look! Yeah! You did such an awesome job designing these. Oh, they're so badass. So not only did I get to pick up the shirts today, but I may have picked up a jug of Fernandez's delicious sangria. And since I had to go by there anyway, and then I had to pick up the sangria, he left the jug in the bushes, so I left a package for Fernandez in the bushes. So technically, the only other people that have their shirts besides me and Brian is Fernandez and his lovely wife, because he has been keeping me in sangria for the whole pandemic. And he bought 2 shirts, and I saved 2 shirts worth of postage by packing them up and leaving them in the bushes. And I got myself sangria. That's 2 less envelopes I have to ship. So Mr. and Mrs. Fernandez are probably wearing their shirts right now. Cheers, everybody. Oh, the fruit is so good. It's what I call a fair trade. I mean, I didn't make a special trip. I had to go by there anyway. Social distance. I mean, think about it this way. We live in a time where it's acceptable behavior to put a mask on and go steal stuff out of people's bushes and then put stuff in people's bushes and then drive away. Like, that's acceptable behavior in 2020. Welcome to 2020. So I'm super stoked. The shirts came out awesome. They look fantastic. I love them. They are made in the USA. I want to wash it and because right now it still smells new. It's got that new shirt smell. But I am so excited. It was so weird to leave the house and get that far away from home, crossing the border into New Hampshire. I was like, God, I hope I don't get arrested. But had a chance to see Brian, thank him for rushing the printing of the first batch of shirts, which was well over 400. So the fact that he got them done so quickly, Brian is the man. So like I said, if you've ordered shirts since, which you can still order them now until May 31st, we're going to put one final order in and get them shipped out, and you'll get those in early June. But all of the shirts that I now have in my house, I put a picture up on Facebook of the whole back of my SUV filled with t-shirts. Those are going to go and get shipped out as soon as I get all of the shipping envelopes and stuff, which are supposed to arrive on Wednesday. So as soon as the envelopes arrive, I'm going to organize the posse over here. We're going to make the assembly line, and we are going to get these shirts shipped out. So I'm hoping that maybe as soon as next Saturday, you guys are going to start getting them in the mail. Oh, wait, hold on. Keith says, today is my daughter Ella's 13th birthday. Happy birthday, Ella! Hold on. Ella shares a birthday. Cheers to Ella. With Rosemary Clooney, who she probably doesn't even know who that is because she's 13. Robert Moog, who invented the synthesizer. Where would we be without the synthesizer? Dan Klein, the drummer from Jay Giles. Philip Selway, the drummer from Radiohead. Maxwell, and Jewel, all celebrating birthdays today. So, happy birthday, Ella. You're officially a teenager. Which means your dad is totally hating life right now. Good luck with that, dude. Have a good time. All right, let's see. Can there be bigger sizes? Mark, what size are you looking for? I don't know how big we can make them, but I'll see what I can do. Ooh, Tom says my eyebrow game is on point today. My eyebrows are on fleek. It's funny you mention that, Tom, because I've been eyebrow challenged for many a year. My hair is very thin and very fine. I barely have any. And my eyebrows are wispy and they're barely there. And it looks really weird when you wear a lot of eye makeup and then you have barely there eyebrows because they just don't grow in that thick. And these girls are walking around with their giant Kardashian eyebrows. So I struggle in my eyebrow game. So thank you very much for noticing my eyebrows today. And I can also do this because I don't have Botox in my face. Tom says that's George Clooney's mother. Actually, Rosemary Clooney is George Clooney's aunt, and she is famous in her own right. Google Rosemary Clooney. She is, Corey, there are 3X. You can order a 3X shirt. They are up there for sale. We have small, medium, large, extra large, double X, and triple X. So order away. How can we purchase the shirts? Layla wants to know. There is a post pinned to the top of this Facebook page that the album is labeled Cocktails in the War Room t-shirts. And if you click on there, there's a whole description about the organization where all the profits are going, who printed them, who designed them, and then there's a separate link for every t-shirt size. That's the only way I could do them this way out of my dining room because there's a pandemic. So click the link. It's one shirt per purchase. So if you want to buy more than one shirt, you got to do multiple purchases. But it's the only way that I could kind of make it happen until I get a website that has an online store, which I'm working on. Then we'll be able to do this stuff super easy. But right now, it's a little bit more difficult because I'm a one-man show, quarantined in a house with an unruly pug, and If we wanted to do it in a timely fashion and get the money to the charity when they needed it most, then that's what we had to do. Speaking of the charity, I want to give out the information once again for anybody that's new to the War Room that's wondering, Layla, how do we purchase? Click the link. They are being sold through PayPal, but you can use a credit card, or you can buy them directly through PayPal if you have a PayPal account. But just click the links. Amy wants to know, how does it fit? This is, they're standard t-shirt sizes. This is a medium. It fits good. I got plenty of boob room. So it fits, and I believe, hold please. See, made in the USA. I'm trying to see if it's pre-shrunk. I think it is. I can't read it. It's so small. Hold on. Oh, God. I'm going to twist myself into a pretzel trying to read the tag on the shirt. I think it says pre-shrunk. It's backwards. You guys can't read it either. Hold on. I got to do the t-shirt trick. I'll do it for you guys. That way you guys can see the back. All right. Every girl learned how to do this in junior high. Obviously, it's backwards, but at least you can see the back. All right. The tag says, made in America. 100% pre-shrunk cotton. So there you go. They're pre-shrunk. That's what it looks like on the back, except it's backwards for you. So this is a medium. So whatever size you normally wear, it should fit you just fine and it ain't gonna shrink. So there you go. It would be easier for you to read if you took it off. Really, Michael? Do you think I'm falling for that again? I know. Take it off. Hey, wouldn't it be easier if you just grab a shirt out of the box? Joe, they're in the other room. I'm not going to get up, leave my sangria, and go do it when I could just twist it around. So there you go. Michael says it's always a good idea to order one size larger. You can if you want. I haven't washed it yet because it's literally hot off the presses, but it fit me perfect. I always wear like a regular medium t-shirt. Unless it's a girl's t-shirt, which these are not. These are standard t-shirt sizes. We didn't have enough time, and I couldn't handle, doing long sleeves and girl sizes and kid sizes and dog sizes. Like, I'm a one-man operation in the middle of a pandemic. You gotta just... Thanks, Kenny. I appreciate the support for my bra. But I will tell you that two things. One, these things have the coronavirus saying on the back, don't lick anything weird and wash your damn hands. Two, Cocktails in the War Room is not going anywhere. It'll just change eventually, sooner than later. I haven't figured out the last night of the nightly Cocktails in the War Room yet. Then I believe Cocktails in the War Room is going to become a weekly thing. As soon as I get the equipment in here, which should be any day, the production value on Cocktails in the War Room is going to be far superior to what it is right now. I'll be able to have guests, and but I'm still going to do it like once a week. Give us a chance to hang out. You guys will be able to comment and ask questions on the guests. I got a lot of plans. But basically what I'm saying is, the front artwork will stay the same. We'll probably just change what it says on the back when we're doing Cocktails in the War Room when the world opens back up again. And when that happens, we'll be able to I'll have an online store that will be able to do that. But these specific shirts with the slogan from Cocktails in the War Room during the pandemic on the back, these are all going to charity. The profits are all going to charity. Are the shirts screen printed or heat press? Oh, that's a question for Brian. Brian, if you're watching, can you answer that question? I have no idea. I know that he cooks the hell out of them so that the ink doesn't like crack or anything. For example, I was in Iraq 14 years ago. There are guys that got one of my Boston to Baghdad t-shirts in Iraq 14 years ago that still wear those shirts, and the letters aren't cracked and they're not peeling off. These shirts are legit. Like, the cotton will probably erode around what Brian printed on them. They last forever because they're screen printed. Thank you, Brian. Because they just last. That's why I wanted Brian to do them. One, he's been a friend of mine for a really long time. And two, he knows what the fuck he's doing. So trust me, these are not going to flake off. They're not going to peel. They're not going to be all cracked like some of those concert shirts I've shown you guys that I got in the 80s. He actually tipped me off, which I thought was really interesting. He said that a lot of times t-shirts where the screen printing like cracks and flakes off is because the place rushed and they didn't cook it long enough to get the ink to cure on the shirt. And that's why, like, if you go and buy a concert shirt or something, if you wear it and then all of a sudden the letters start coming off, it's because they didn't bake it long enough. And he says that he makes sure that he bakes them long enough so that the ink is all up in there. And it's not like all bubbly and like, you know, sometimes you get a shirt that's got a big screen printed thing and it feels like you're shrink wrapped because it's not like that at all. Like, it's, you know, wash it a couple times so the cotton will soften up a little bit. We're rocking and rolling. I'm super psyched. Carrie, off subject, but I need to know if you ever heard Australians call AC/DC Akadaka. No. I don't really know anyone from Australia, although I do know some British guys, or one British guy, my friend Mick, that I met in Afghanistan. He was a British soldier in Afghanistan when I was there, and he is now serving in Australia. So I guess I could ask him, but he's not Australian technically. He's British. Paul, my friend that's watching right now, he knows Mick, the Brit. I don't know. I could ask Mick if he has heard anybody call AC/DC Akadaka, but I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Australians are, well, they're weird people. They live in a place where literally everything is trying to kill them, and they stay. I've never been to Australia. It's on my bucket list. I want to go there. I want to do a bunch of stuff, including climb the Sydney Harbour Bridge. But I'm also psyching myself up for the fact that literally everything wants to kill me when I get there. And hopefully I'll be able to see Mick while I'm there. He invited me to come down, him and his lovely wife. They gave me a tour of London a few years ago. And the picture that I have of me crossing Abbey Road way back in the day, Mick actually took that. I had a 14-hour layover in London. And him and his wife took me sightseeing. It was awesome. I'm telling you, if you make Fernandez's sangria, the fruit is the best part. It's so good. I apologize for talking with my mouth full, but it really is delicious. They have the weirdest local terms I've ever heard. I mean, people say that about us too. Sorry, I have an itch. I did some more yard work the last couple days, and I'm literally covered with bug bites. It's kind of disgusting. Kim, what did Ron say? I've heard them called Akadak. Really? I know that I have friends in South Africa, and I've heard them call Z's Zed, but I've never heard anybody call them Akadaka. But Steven says sangria looks so good right about now. I'm telling you, I had to give Fernandez his shirts early. I had to. He made me sangria. What was I going to say? No, I'm going to make the sangria tomorrow. Joshua, I'm telling you. He also told me to be careful with this batch. So I don't know what he put in it that might be a little weird. How do I get this sangria? Lindsay wants to know. Lindsay, someone in the war room has the recipe because Fernandez gave it to me to give to you. I just don't have it in front of me right now. But can someone please copy and paste Fernandez's sangria recipe into the comments so that she can have it? What's up, Collins? So one of my buddies, Collins, that I met in Afghanistan, just chimed in, and Collins will tell you, because he's got one of the AAF to Afghanistan shirts, and those are 9 years old, and I guarantee you the letters aren't falling off of that either. That's because Brian made them. So Canadians call ZZ too. Z for Z is the Queen's English. All the Brits do that. Oh, well, there you go. Elsa says, try the sangria frozen. If it's weird, don't lick it. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate that. When are you going back to check your P.O. box? Mailed you something. Oh, really? Well, obviously I can't go on Monday because it's a holiday, so I will go to the P.O. box on Tuesday. There you go. Then I'll be spending a lot of quality time at the post office because I will be mailing hundreds of t-shirts like this. Okay, so back to the charity. So anybody that's new to the War Room or anybody that's looking at this stylish and sexy Cocktails in the War Room t-shirt and they're like, hey, I got to get me one of those, and where's all the money going? Okay, so first of all, if you want to get a Cocktails in the War Room t-shirt, go to the post that is pinned on this Facebook page, click the link for the size you want to order, and you can order it either with your PayPal account or with a credit card. And then I will ship it to you live from my dining room. The reason why we did the t-shirts the way that we did was to support every part of the chain. So I'll explain it to you. The t-shirts are made in the USA cotton. They were designed in Massachusetts by Latini Creative Solutions. My friend Christine is incredibly talented, and she came up with the artwork and designed the whole thing, and they're awesome. They were printed at my friend Brian's place called Whirlwind Productions up in Derry, New Hampshire. He's been printing every shirt I've ever asked him to print. I mean, the first Property of Mistress Carrie t-shirts that I had printed like back in the late 90s, there's pictures of me with Fred Durst with those shirts. Brian printed those. So he's been printing my shirts forever. And then they're getting mailed through the post office. The reason why we did it that way was that we wanted to support American manufacturing, local businesses, and the post office. So every part of the delivery and production and design of these t-shirts is helping our economy. And then the profits, so after we paid, let me tell you, I've learned a lot about how easy I had it when I worked for a radio station, because I would just say, hey, I got an idea for a t-shirt, and then they would make it, and they would get it printed, and then I would just get one left in my mailbox at WAAF. I had to learn a lot about the rights for using specific fonts and the rights for using certain graphics and how you had to pay for licensing and production and design. Like, this is the first time that I've ever done this basically on my own. Even the Boston to Baghdad and AAF to Afghanistan shirts got designed by our graphics guy at the radio station. Brian printed them, but it went through the radio station pipeline, so I was never in on every part of the process, and it's pretty involved. I've learned a lot. Anyway, the profits, after all of the expenses are paid, because part of this whole thing is to support the local businesses that are hurting and to give them some work. So once all of the expenses are paid, shipping, you know, the mail, the design, the print, all of that, the profits are going to benefit the Massachusetts Military Support Foundation and their Food for Vets program. So if you don't know what this is, I hate to be repetitive for the people that join me every night in the War Room, but there's a lot of new people that are coming in all the time. They have been doing food distribution sites all around Massachusetts and expanding throughout New England and even into upstate New York. And if you're a veteran that is having financial trouble, or you are immunocompromised or afraid to go into the stores or whatever, and you just need food assistance, this Food for Vets program is distributing food. You have to register online ahead of time. But once you do that, the Food for Vets program is boxing up non-perishable food that is good for 2 people, 3 meals a day for 2 weeks. And I'm going to give you a list of the locations. If you go to massmilitarysupportfoundation.org, you can go to their website. There's the whole list of distribution sites, and then there's links that you can register, because you got to pre-register so that they have your box waiting for you when you show up on the certain days to pick up your food. There's distribution sites in Agawam, Baldwinville, Barnstable, Bridgewater, Brighton, Danvers, Devons, Fall River, Foxborough, Framingham, Haverhill, Methuen, North Adams, Randolph, Raynham, Sandwich, and Westport, and that's just in Massachusetts. But if you go to massmilitarysupportfoundation.org, they're adding to that list all the time. They go to certain locations on certain days, and the food will be boxed up and ready for you. And then you just go in, they can put the food right in your trunk, and you can just drive away. And the one that's in Foxborough, the Crafts donated parking lot 5 at Gillette Stadium, and they've been doing this Food for Vets program right out of the parking lot at Gillette, which is pretty amazing. So all of the profits, whatever part would normally come to me, is going to the charity. So thank you guys for all the shirts you've already ordered, because not only are you helping American manufacturing and local businesses, but you are also supporting the Food for Vets program. There's just absolutely no reason why any of our veterans should be in need of food assistance in a crisis like COVID-19. And so that's why the Massachusetts Military Support Foundation stepped in, and they are helping to fill that gap. And we are helping to, to make it happen with these t-shirts. And I can't wait. So what's going to happen is, after the last t-shirt gets ordered on May 31st, and I shut the links down, I'll be able to do all the math and figure out exactly how much money we're going to be able to donate to the charity. But I believe we're up over $3,000 that's going just to the charity. And the more shirts we sell, the higher the percentage of money per shirt that goes to the charity, because all of the other expenses, all the shipping, I bought plenty of envelopes and plenty of labels and kind of all of that stuff. So all of those expenses are already paid. So keep buying the shirts, share them on your Facebook page. It's going to a good cause. I'm really excited about it. I know that the charity is super excited about getting the money, and I know they're going to put it to good use. So that's the deal with the t-shirts, but I'm so excited. They were my excuse to leave the house today, and I'm glad you guys like them. This is the first endeavor post WAF. It's the first thing that I've helped design that doesn't have a WAF logo on it, and it's really kind of weird. I'm just so used to being associated with a radio station and that specific radio station. And it's weird to make something that's me, that isn't affiliated with a radio station. It's been 22 years and counting. So I really appreciate you guys supporting kind of my first step outside of the nest, for lack of a better term. And you guys have gone above and beyond. We've already sold way more t-shirts than I had hoped we would. And I couldn't be more proud of all of us banding together when we're as far apart as kind of we can all be at this time. But I'm humbled that you guys are so supportive of an endeavor that I kind of put together, and I just love you guys. It means the world. And when I got to Brian's place today and saw the dollies of boxes, it became very real how much shipping I'm going to have to do. But I have no problem spending all day, every day, getting these things out to you guys. Eric, I'm trying really hard not to cry. I will stuff the envelopes. I've got volunteers lined up and ready to go. As soon as I get the envelopes, I just need them to get here. And then as soon as they get here, I'm going to mobilize the troops and we're going to get these things to you. So I'm pretty excited. Yes, I will be at the big gig coming up in April. It's already been rescheduled. So yes, I will be there. Mike Shue will be there. We were really looking forward to celebrating the 50 years of WAAF at the big gig at the DCU Center. And the fact that it had to get postponed until next year kind of sucked, but mean, they turned the DCU into a hospital, so, you know, what are we going to do? Complain that we can't have a concert there? Of course not. But yes, we will be there for sure, and it'll be great to kind of get the band back together. Dave says, don't lick the stamps. Oh, don't worry, dude. I got a packing tape for that because I'm not licking stamps and I'm not licking the envelopes. Like, not happening. No crying in the war room. David, I know. I'll probably cry the last night that we do this nightly. Like I said, Cocktails in the War Room's not going anywhere, but in the near future, it's going to go from being a nightly thing to a weekly thing because I want to raise the production value, and I would like at some point to be able to leave the fucking house, but that's just me. Next year is going to be a great year, says Jen. Yeah. Hopefully. We were excited about 2020 and how awesome this year was going to be. And then look at what fucking happened. Let me keep drinking the sangria over here. Night 107. Dude. You want me here for like another 60-something nights? I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, we'll get to night 107 eventually. But like I said, we're going to have to go from nightly to weekly sooner than later. There's going to come a time when I'm not in the house at 8:30, and we can't do Cocktails in the War Room if I'm not in the fucking war room. What's up, Raymond? How are you? Peel and lick stamps. Yeah, well, I got to print postage, so it'll be on labels. So there's no licking of any kind. The shirt says don't lick anything weird. Stamps are weird. We're not licking them. Last thing you want is all of me and the volunteers' DNA all over your envelopes when you get it in the mail. Shh, it will hear you, says Tracy. I know, because we're so excited about 2021. Oh, I really wanted to tell you guys this because I thought it was incredibly dangerous. So they've done research into the Twitter accounts that are tweeting about COVID-19, and nearly half of the Twitter accounts that are tweeting about the pandemic are bot accounts whose purpose is to sow division in the United States. So I know that we don't want to get into any kind of political discussions here because you can just leave politics at the door. But the only thing I'll say about that is be really careful about where you're getting your news from. Having worked for a broadcast company for 22 years, full time on the air, I will tell you that we couldn't just go on the air and say, hey, it was just announced that half of Americans have blue alien DNA, or like it had to be factual. And by that, we had to have it published on multiple sources already so that we weren't just making shit up, because that's how you get into slander and libel and all of that kind of stuff. The internet, people can tweet about whatever the fuck they want. And, oh, well, I heard this or I heard that. So if half of the tweets that are on Twitter right now are coming from bots tweeting about the pandemic, it's an election year. Just be really careful where you're getting your information. And that includes me. Like when I give you guys statistics about the coronavirus, I'm getting them from the CDC's website, and I'm getting them from Governor Baker's press conferences, because I don't want to give you guys false information, and I want you guys to trust me that when I tell you something, it's for real. So just be careful about what you're reading on the internet. Speaking of that, the United States saw 24,268 more cases today than yesterday. So far, we're at 1.595 million 885 cases. 1,595,885 cases total. In Massachusetts, and the fatalities are 1,852 from yesterday, and it's 96,002 as of right now. In Massachusetts, we are up 773 cases from yesterday, which is down again, which is great. And there were 76 fatalities from yesterday, which is 76 too many, but again, trending down, which is news to give you a little bit of optimism. Here in Massachusetts, we've lost 6,304 Massachusetts residents. So those are the numbers that come straight from the governor and from the CDC. So just be careful about, where you guys are getting your info, and double check everything. I mean, double check my numbers, you know what I mean? Just as many of my friends in the military say, trust but verify. There you go. I saw people giving out Trump yard signs for free today. Yeah, it's an election year. So, everybody has a political agenda about what side it's on. Like North Carolina, for example, is already in phase 2 of the reopening. And today they had the highest number of positive cases that they've had since it all started. So I don't have the answers. I'm just letting you know what's going on. So we still need to be careful, which is why if you're going to go to Fernandez's house, get the sangria out of the bushes, leave the t-shirts in the bushes. Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Kim says, this is a health crisis, not an election, for fuck's sake. Yeah, but it's happening in an election year, so you can't think that it's not going to affect how people vote. It's just going to happen. Joe says Texas was the same. Here in Massachusetts, we've been pretty strict about things, and the numbers are on the decline, which is great. But we live in a country where people travel. People are moving around. Michael says the problem is that we test more people, we're going to see the numbers go up 100%. But in Massachusetts, we're testing more people every day, and the numbers are starting to go down, which means that it's working. Whereas in other states, they weren't doing as much testing, and they really didn't think they had a problem. And now, as things are getting ready to open again, they're starting to see the numbers go up. So Tony wants to know what Fernandez's address is. Oh, listen. You're not getting that out of me, man. This is my sangria hookup. I'm not throwing Fernandez under the bus. Actually, to be perfectly honest, it's not Fernandez you should be worried about. It's Mrs. Fernandez, because she ain't taking no shit from nobody. But you have the recipe. Make Fernandez's sangria. I really hope somebody put it up in the comments. I can go back through my cocktails in the War Room ledger and find it. What's up, Quinny? Another one of my army buddies checking in. What's up? But his Fernandez sangria is so good. Brianna says, her and Jerry are commenting back and forth. A round of blueberry cobbler, says Walter. Hell yeah. Yes, I screenshot that right away, says Patty. We posted it. You guys did. Okay, awesome. Thank you guys for taking care of that. The sangria is fantastic. But the thing is that when the fruit sits in there, the fruit becomes delicious. It's so good. So you don't want to strain it. You want to make sure you get fruit in glasses. You don't want to have lipstick marks on the glasses. But this is my official Fernandez Sangria mug. But you want to make sure that you get fruit in every glass because it's like a treat. David says you're going to have to frame that ledger. I'm telling you, this is a time capsule of the coronavirus of 2020. You go back. Hold on, I'll show you guys. So the first day that I actually wrote stuff in here was Monday, March 16th, because the first 2 nights, I didn't think this was going to be a thing. And then on the third night, I kind of realized it was going to be a thing, and I started making notes. let's see what we talked about on night 1, because it's night 71 right now. Let's see. We talked about the poll that I put up as to whether or not WAAF going off the air triggered the end of the world. You guys voted 95% yes. There were 2,500 votes, and you guys overwhelmingly said yes. I also said that if you're a TV advertiser and you put a doorbell in your commercials, you're a fucking dick, because Wednesday wouldn't stop barking at the television because there were doorbells in the TV commercials. I also said, this was March 16th, in the last 24 hours, I've realized every pen in my house doesn't work, but I keep putting them back in the drawer because I kept looking for a pen to write stuff down in the ledger, and I couldn't find one that worked. And then I found this one, which is like 1,000 years old. It's a bakery association from the bakery that my family owned from like 1,000 years ago, but it fit in the little pen thing on the side of the book. And that way I wouldn't have to go digging for a pen every time. I could just have that one. And then I wrote, tonight we needed to talk about helping local businesses. We posted links in the comments for local businesses and restaurants that we could help to support. That's what we talked about on night number 3. Night number 4 was St. Patrick's Day, and we basically just cried about Tom Brady for like an hour. So it has stuff written in it from every night that we've been together in the war room. So I'm totally saving this thing. Like, it's kind of crazy that you guys know already I'm a sentimental person, but this is something that people are going to reference like for the rest of our lives. Kids are going to grow up hearing about this point in time in the history books. I mean, the only comparison was what happened 100 years ago. So 100 years from now, they're going to be talking about the coronavirus in 2020. And so it's kind of crazy that I have this little notebook with all of the things we talked about through the whole thing. Drea says someday it'll become a war room artifact. Oh, it's totally going on the bookshelf with all of the books that I keep here in the war room. Renee says, I love how sentimental you are. Maybe you do. Some people think it's weird, but I save things from people, and I find value in crazy little things, and I save them because I'm just that way. It's amazing that I'm not one of those crazy hoarder people you see on TV that need like bulldozers to get down their hallways that have to be extricated from the residents. But I'm also very organized. So if you're going to be a hoarder and be super sentimental about stuff, you need a label maker and you need Rubbermaid tubs and you need to be organized. Otherwise, it's creepy and scary. Let's see. Mike says, I hope you kept track of what you drank every night. I didn't, but there's evidence because the fucking videos are posted on the internet on the World Wide Web. So everybody can just watch me drink. And to the trash guys and my actually not the trash guys, the recycle guys, don't judge me for the vodka bottles that are in my recycling bin this week. The thing about Fernandez's Sangria, here's the other part. This is what you guys need to know. Fernandez has these bottles, like these plastic bottles that, like, if you're at home and you were going to make like iced tea or lemonade or something and you put it in like a plastic bottle with like a cover. So Fernandez, he must have a fucking closet full of these bottles, but it's like a redemption center. So if you're going to go and get sangria out of his bushes, you got to leave the other bottle that you took from him because it's like his wife's Tupperware, right? So when he said, hey, come by, you got to go by anyway and pick up the t-shirts in New Hampshire, come by, I made sangria. So I was like, okay. So I had 2 of Fernandez's pitchers in bottles. So I washed them, put them in a bag, and then I brought a bag for the t-shirts. And when I went by, he left a new batch of sangria, but I left the old bottles, took the new bottle. So it's like you can't take one without bringing one back. So I bring that up because we're saving the environment, because we're reusing the bottles. Rather than getting a nickel for the deposit like you get in Massachusetts, we just keep swapping bottles. But he writes in Sharpie on the bottle so you know that it's his bottle, so that you can't just be like, oh no, Fernandez, that was my pitcher. And he'll be like, fuck you, it was. My name's on it. Christina says, hey, I sell Tupperware. Well, we've been reusing. Yeah, exactly, Eric. Fernandez Redemption Center. Jen says, I learn a lot from this friggin' show. I clean my house for hours after. I'm telling you, a label maker and Rubbermaid tubs. Organization, man. Like the Cheez-It, Steven says. Never go full Cheez-It. Never, ever go for the Cheez-It, ever. That's etiquette. Exactly right, Carol. Like, if you're going to take the sangria in the new bottle, you have to at least leave the old bottle. It's just fair. And that's what I did. So Fernandez got 2 of his bottles back, and then now I only have 1. This is an educational channel. Can't get a nickel until further notice. Okay, can we talk about... So anybody that's watching outside of Massachusetts, Massachusetts has redemption. So cans and bottles that are stamped for redemption, if you save them, you get a nickel back for each one. And you can go to the supermarket and put the cans and bottles in the machine, or you can go to a redemption center and return them all, and they'll give you 5 cents for every one. Now, if you have a problem like I do, you save all your bottles and cans because it's a lot of fucking money. Like, you have one party, you have a barrel with just cans in it, you bring it back after, you can get a ton of money for it. Well, they have not been taking the redeemable bottles and cans because of the coronavirus. And I have bags and bags and bags of bottles and cans that are ready to go to the redemption center in my garage. And when they finally start taking those things again, I'm making it rain, because between all of the cans and bottles of ginger beer and the Polar Seltzer and all the other stuff that I've been drinking for the last 71 days since I've been locked in the house, Wednesday's going to be eating good that day. I will be more organized someday. Labels and Rubbermaid tubs. Check. I have about 15 bags of recyclables, says Pam. Got a build up here, says Becky. Same here. I have 5 trash bags full so far, says Kathy. Kathy, the other Kathy with a C, wants to know what's up with the Cheez-Its. I missed that friggin' autocracy. Please reshare. I'll repeat it quickly. I was on a flight. The guy next to me got shit-faced. I got really mad at the flight attendant for letting the guy get so shit-faced. He opened up a bag of Cheez-Its on the plane. A bunch of his Cheez-Its fell in my lap. And then that drunk motherfucker tried to put his hand in my lap and retrieve those rogue Cheez-Its. And I let him know what would happen if his hand touched my leg or any of the other parts in my lap area. He tried to go full Cheez-It. And then when he didn't take no for an answer, I told him I would have him fucking arrested by the Massachusetts State Police when we landed at Logan. Then I threatened to kill him. Let's just say he never got the Cheez-Its. That's the Cheez-It story. But if you go back and watch some of the earlier episodes, you'll get the whole long, drawn-out story. But you never go full Cheez-It. Tracy says, I have 6 trash bags full of stuff for donations. My father has barrels of Twisted Tea bottles and other bottles too. Yeah, like the people that are taking our recycling bins and the people at the redemption center, when we're finally allowed to turn these bottles and cans in, are going to be like, you're an alcoholic. Go home and stop drinking. Because there's a lot of them. I donate my recyclables to the pet shelter in my town. Paolo, that's fantastic. Like why put them in a landfill when you can go and, or, you know, they're worth 5 cents a piece, so why not save them? Recycling bins nowadays make me laugh, says Karina. Right? You go, like, take your dog for a walk. Leave the house under the guise that you're taking your dog for a walk when really you are spying on your neighbors to judge them, because that's basically what you're doing. But go and walk through your neighborhood and look in the recycling bins. I promise you, it's wine bottles, whiskey bottles, and vodka bottles because everyone is drunk at home right now. Just like those TikTok videos. I'm bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Like, seriously, that's it. By the way, I have a TikTok account and I haven't put up any videos yet. I think that's about to start, I think. If I finish this mug of Fernandez's sangria tonight, that TikTok shit might happen. As I keep watching all these people making these videos, one of these nights I'm going to get drunk enough to do it. Renee says, I returned 36 cases of Sam's on Tuesday. No judgment. My wine box is in a box, but it's burnable. Ah, Becky, getting rid of the evidence. I love you too, John. TikToks and avatars are the new things. I showed you guys my Facebook avatar. Stage 5 clinger. That's the only way to describe it. And I have a new YouTube channel. Yes, I do. So I haven't put any videos up on it yet, but trust me, they're coming. So if you go to youtube.com/C/Mistress Carrie, I guess the C is for channel, but you can subscribe to my new YouTube channel, which is now up. And there's videos coming. There's all kinds of stuff coming. I need you guys to trust me that I'm not just spending all of my time sitting around buzzing off of Fernandez's sangria, that I've actually been doing shit. And sooner than later, there's going to be a lot more. What the fuck is TikTok, Mike says. Mike, if you are around any kids, anyone under the age of 25 even, and they're making stupid little videos, they're putting them on TikTok. You don't even have to put up videos on TikTok. You can just get the app and then watch other people's TikTok videos. People are getting drunk and doing dumb shit on the internet because they're bored, and TikTok is where they're putting most of that stuff. So you need to go. Go to Spaz's page. He has a ton posted. So here's the thing. Last night I was playing around with TikTok. So the way TikTok works is you can make your own videos or whatever, but the audio from other people's TikToks you can use as the audio for your TikTok. And I started playing around with audio from Spaz's TikToks to make me a TikTok video. I might start redoing Spaz's TikToks, but with me. I'm just warning you. I was playing around with it last night, but I didn't post anything because I wasn't drunk enough. Tonight that might happen. TikTok is a rabbit hole. I've lost hours of my life. 100%. When you hit the end of the internet, when you hit the end of Netflix, which is bound to happen, you could hit the end of the Disney Plus channel. Like, eventually you're going to be like, there's nothing else for me to watch. Then you go to TikTok and you're like, these people have a lot of fucking time on their hands. Like, a lot of time. And there are a lot of families making coordinated dance videos right now. Like, almost every family has got some kind of fucking dance video up on TikTok right now. It's hilarious. Jen says at our camp, they collect them from all of the drunks and donate the money to local Maine food shelters. Well, there you go, talking about the recyclables. Joshua says, yes, do it. Glad this stuff wasn't around when we grew up. No evidence. Joe, can you imagine if they had the internet in the 80s? Like, if they had social media and TikTok and Twitter and YouTube in the 80s? Oh, hell no. Like, anybody over 40 that's watching this right now, you wouldn't have the job you have right now if there was the internet in the 80s. Because they would have gotten on fucking video all the nasty ass shit that you did, and you wouldn't have a job. Imagine what it's going to be like for someone that's like 16 right now, that's trying to get a job in their 30s, and they're like Googling them at the job interview, and they're like, remember that TikTok video where you were snorting coke off your dog's ass? Yeah, still on TikTok. We got away with a lot of shit in the 80s, and in the 90s, we're really lucky that we didn't get caught. If you guys get really bored, you can go search the outer rim of the internet. There's a video up on YouTube somewhere. I think it's on the AAF YouTube channel, but I don't know. But it's got to be from 98, 99. And it's me in front of the one internet computer at WAAF. Like, there was like one computer in like the sales office, and then there was one computer for like all the DJs and all the people on the programming side of the building. And it's a step-by-step tutorial of me showing everybody on Real Rock TV how to use the new state-of-the-art WAAF.com. It's so fucking sad how remedial this thing is. It's like, and then you take the mouse and you put the cursor and you click. It just goes to show you how much has changed. It's hilarious. P.S. My voice was 6 octaves higher. If you listen to this tonight and then go and find that video, and if someone is Googling like a freaking savage right now, post the link. It literally sounds like I was huffing helium. Like, I don't know what happened to my voice in the last 20 years. I really don't. There's no explanation for how high my voice was back then. But this video is like, and check out the new state-of-the-art WAAF.com. And then you look at this video and you're like, holy crap. Melissa says, what was Fernandez's secret in this latest batch? I don't know, but I gotta tell you, I'm feeling really good right now. I'm not drunk, but I am on the road there. Fernandez told me to be careful about what was in this batch, and I don't know what was in this batch. Mark says I need a TikTok tutorial. I am not the person for that. But I can teach you how to use the state-of-the-art WAAF.com from 1999. Renee, it's very possible. 20 years of screaming at rock shows may have deepened it slightly. I need to check that out now. Drea, you got to find out. I'm almost positive we dug it out of the archives and put it up on WAAF.com. David, you could be right with puberty. I think I've gone through it like 6 times by now. But this video, it's just so funny because it's like this big old giant square monitor, and we're like, hey, check out the WAAF website. And it did like 4 things. Like, your 5-year-old at nursery school could build that website right now. Steve just comments, bag of dicks. Mic drop. I'm glad you're feeling good, says Melissa. Yeah, today was a good day. I was really excited to get all of the t-shirts. I'm so glad you guys love them. I think Brian and Christine did an amazing job printing and designing these shirts. And he didn't use wine in this batch. He used vodka. Oh, great, Mariah. Talking about Fernandez's sangria. Carrie, there are still party lines out there. Oh, like the phone sex lines? Okay. So I saw one of those commercials for those, hey, call, talk about local singles, like those websites. And I'm like, I don't have a job right now. Could I get a job? Ooh, there's a moth in here. Could I get a job at one of those, like, hey, call and talk to hot local singles phone lines? Like, I mean, there's going to come a time where I'm going to really be desperate for a job. I mean, I talked dirty to you guys on the air for 22 years. I could do it for like 99 cents a minute, right? Anyway, it was just a thought. I saw one of those commercials at like 2 o'clock this morning on TV. Wednesday's quiet tonight. David, she was outside running around like a crazed maniac today. And she's napping on the couch where she always hangs out. Steven says party lines. Yeah, exactly. Like, maybe I could host one of those party lines. Be like, hey, what are you doing tonight? What are you wearing? David says there's a YouTube channel like teenagers using VCR, rotary phones and stuff like that. It's funny. Seriously, if you're over 40 trying to figure out TikTok and your kids are making fun of you, show them a VCR and be like, work that bitch, and then come back and tell me what's up. Melissa says your voice is perfect for it. I'm just saying, maybe there's nothing else for me to do. Not those kind of party lines, Carrie. That's what all those party lines are. Don't tell me you think there's just a bunch of people getting in there that are like, hey, what are you doing tonight? They're like, hey, what are you wearing? Put it in your mouth. You know that's what they're doing. I've also noticed that the number of messages that I've got on like Twitter and Instagram and on Facebook of people offering to be dogs for Mistress Carrie, like, I don't think they understand I'm a rock DJ. I think they really want me to beat the shit out of them and step on their nuts. Because I'm getting a lot of those emails all of a sudden, and it's kind of weird. I don't know what this pandemic is bringing out in people, but it's dirty. Whatever it is, it's dirty. Red shirts and khakis. What are you wearing? Yeah, exactly. Well, she sounds hideous. The Boston Raven, that's the party line. I met my husband on one. No, you didn't, Heidi. Seriously? You met your husband on a party line? That's amazing. I'm wearing a red sweater and khakis. Well, she sounds hideous. I love that. Long live VCR, says Steven. Let them try and figure out a rotary phone. They'll never understand what it was like to keep calling someone and get a busy signal until their dad got off the phone. Brian says, this is spectacular. Yeah, t-shirt Brian, because you saw me earlier and I was sober as a judge, and now I've been drinking freaking Fernandez's sangria and I'm buzzed out of my mind. Tomorrow I'm going to be like, I said what in the war room? Shut up. I said it the other night, $29.95 for Carrie After Dark. Look, I got to pay the mortgage somehow, man. We'll figure it out. A little ass kicking will make you feel really good, says Dawn. We have too much time on our hands. Thinking kills me. Yeah, Amanda, I'm right there with you. Carrie, being from Leominster, do you remember Freddie the Pervert? What do you think? Well, she's a guy, so... Oh, that's hilarious. Jake from State Farm is my 10-year-old Don's favorite commercial. Shit's funny, man. And was pissed you were calling so late. Yeah, like you're trying to get somebody on the phone and they're like, call at 10:05 and I'll pick it up on the first ring so it doesn't wake up my dad. Like the kids don't understand the struggle being real. They just don't. Now parents are catching kids because they're getting an alert that there's some stranger signing onto their Wi-Fi. Or the Walkman, or the cassette. Heidi says, take a drink from me. Heidi, you're getting the last bit of it. The rest of the bottle's in the fridge. 1-900 Cobbler. Steve, you win the internet prize tonight. You win the internet. Cocktails in the porn room. Watching my kids try to figure out how to shut off old console record players. I had an old rotary dial TV and it was like showing my kids a dinosaur, says Pete. I had a ringmate, says Kim. I'm telling you, like they don't understand what it was like. I'm an insurance agent and I love that commercial, says Trina. Yeah, because it made insurance agents cool. Like, oh yeah, you can give me that deal? 1-900 bag of dicks, says Melissa. That shit's funny, man. There's certain things that are going to outlive the war room. Blueberry cobbler, bag of dicks, never go full Cheez-It. Like those things are going to stick for life. How about waiting for your favorite song to come on the radio so you can record it? Fucking DJs never played it when you wanted them to. They're all assholes. A phone with a 25-foot cord sucks. And you know, you'd stretch it, and then when you'd go to hang it back up, that curly cord would get that kink in it. And you could never get that kink out no matter how hard you tried. I was the clicker for my dad before there was cable, says Ron. Yep. Is your skull mug plastic or glass? It's plastic. I wish it were glass, but it's badass anyway, other than the lipstick marks that are all over it now. But no, it's not glass. It's just plastic. You have a collect call from Mass. Come and pick up because you had no money. Debbie, I cannot explain blueberry cobbler tonight. Everybody can fill you in. Trust me, it's a thing. Okay, the sangria is gone. That means I'm getting the hell out of here. Guys, your t-shirts are in the house. We're shipping them starting Thursday. I gotta go. My face is warm. Fernandez put some kind of secret ingredient in his sangria. Today's a good day. I love you guys. First responders, healthcare workers, National Guard soldiers, you guys are the bomb. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing. All of the essential workers, you guys have kept us moving for the last 71 nights. And to all of the businesses that are opening this weekend, welcome back. We missed you. Don't forget, flags are at half staff to pay tribute to all of the victims of the coronavirus. But also, please don't forget what this weekend is all about. And it's remembering the fallen, honoring the legacy of those that have died in service to this country through the hundreds and hundreds of years that we have had a military and those that have fallen in service to it. So just please be respectful of not only the Gold Star families that are missing their loved ones, but also to their brothers in arms who are missing them terribly this weekend. So to all of the veterans that are missing their comrades this weekend, we send you love, and just keep them in your thoughts this weekend. I will meet you guys back here tomorrow night at 8:30 for Cocktails in the War Room number 72. If there's any of Fernandez's sangria left after tonight. Good night, guys. I love you. T-shirts coming soon. If you haven't ordered them yet, the post is pinned to the top of this Facebook page. Click the link of the size shirt you want. Use your credit card. Order it up. And I will send it to you as quick as possible. As soon as Brian can print them, we will send them out. Good night, guys. Be safe.